When your phone lights up and you see it is your mom or dad again, what is the first thing you feel? Be honest, for a lot of people, it is not joy. It is a quiet sigh, a quick mental calculation of how long this one will take. Maybe even a flicker of irritation. You feel guilty about the moment it passes. And you answer, because of course you do. You love them, but you answer on autopilot, half present, half somewhere else. Here is what almost no one stops to consider. That daily call is not just a habit. It is not neediness. It is not them being difficult or overly dependent. That call is a message, and most of us are so busy managing the interruption that we never stop to actually hear what they're saying. There are things your elderly parent is trying to tell you every single time they dial your number. And once you understand what those things really are, you will never hear that ringtone the same way again. The first thing that daily call is telling you is simply this: you are still their person. Think about what a parent's world looks like as they get older. Friends disappear slowly and then suddenly. Routines shrink. The house gets quieter. The world outside moves faster than their body can keep up with. And in the middle of all that shrinking, there is you, the person they built their life around, the one whose first steps they memorized, whose voice they know better than their own. When they call you every day, they are not trying to crowd you. They are reaching for the one connection that still makes the world feel familiar. You are their anchor. And that call, however routine it seems to you, is them making sure the anchor is still there. They are not asking for a lot. They are asking for the one thing that costs you almost nothing. Proof that you are still reachable, still theirs, still home. And as small as that sounds, for them, it is the difference between a day that feels bearable and one that feels entirely empty. The second thing they are telling you is that they are lonely in a way they do not know how to say out loud. Loneliness in older age is not the same as being alone. It is possible to live in a full house and still feel profoundly invisible. It is possible to have family around on weekends and still spend 5 days a week inside your own head with no one to talk to. When an elderly parent calls daily, they're often not calling because something happened. They're calling because nothing is happening, because the hours stretch out longer than they used to, because the silence after breakfast is heavier than it was before. They will not say any of this directly. They will ask about your day, tell you about the weather, mention something small they saw on television. But underneath all of that ordinary conversation is something much quieter. A person hoping you will stay on just a little longer. A person who has learned not to ask for too much, so they ask for just enough to feel connected for a few minutes, and then they let you go because they know you are busy and they do not want to be the reason your day gets harder. What they will never tell you is that after they hang up, the silence feels twice as heavy as it did before you called. The third thing those calls carry is something most people miss entirely. Your parent is checking that you are okay. It sounds backwards, but it is true. Even as their own health becomes more fragile, even as they need more help than they once did, a parent never fully stops parenting. That worry does not retire. It just changes shape. When they call to ask if you have eaten, if work has been stressful, if the children are well, they are not making small talk. They are doing the one thing that still makes them feel like your parent and not just a person who used to be one. They are taking care of you the only way they still can. Through words, through asking, through staying connected. And brushing past those questions quickly is, without meaning to, brushing past them. So the next time they ask something that feels too small to answer properly, slow down. Answer like it matters, because to them, it genuinely does. That small exchange is the closest thing they have to still being needed. And being needed, even in the smallest way, is what keeps a person feeling like they still have a place in the world. The fourth thing they are telling you is that they are scared of being forgotten. Not dramatically, not in a way they would ever say out loud, but quietly, in the way they repeat your name at the start of a sentence, even when it is just the two of you talking. In the way they remind you of things you already know, almost as if they are making sure they are still part of your memory. As people age, one of the deepest fears is not death itself, but irrelevance. The fear that life will move on so fast around them that they will simply fade from the story. When they call, they are making sure they have not. They are showing up in your day so that your day still has them in it. Answering that call with patience and warmth is one of the simplest ways you can tell them they have not been forgotten and they never will be. The fifth thing that daily call is telling you is one almost no one ever says out loud. They are proud of you, and they want to hear your voice because it reminds them of that. Every time you talk about your work, your children, the small victories of your everyday life, they are listening in a way that goes far beyond conversation. They are collecting evidence of something they gave everything to build. You, your life, the person you became. That call is their way of staying close to the thing they're most proud of in the world. And when you rush them off the phone, you're not just cutting a conversation short. You're stepping away from someone who sees you as their greatest achievement and simply wants a few more minutes in your presence. Here is one that will stay with you. Sometimes that daily call is their way of practicing saying goodbye without saying it, because aging parents carry an awareness that most of their children are not yet ready to face. They feel time differently now, not in abstract years, but in ordinary moments. They notice when you sound tired. They remember exactly what you said last Tuesday. They hold on to small details from your conversations in a way that tells you, whether you are paying attention or not, that every exchange matters deeply to them. They call because they want to make sure that today is not the day you drift a little further, that the thread between you stays intact. They are not afraid of dying as much as they are afraid of disappearing from your life before they go. That is a different kind of fear entirely, and it is one that a simple phone call, answered with warmth, can quietly ease. There is something else those calls represent that rarely gets talked about. They are your parent choosing you every single day. Think about that. With however many hours they have and however much energy they can summon, they use some of it on you. Not out of obligation, not because there is nothing else to do, but because you're the person they most want to hear from. That kind of consistent, quiet devotion is easy to take for granted when it has always been there. But it is not ordinary. It is one of the rarest things one person can offer another. And most of us only understand just how rare it was after it is gone. And here is what makes that even harder to sit with. They know, on some level, that they might be interrupting. They know your life is full and fast in ways theirs no longer is. They pick up the phone anyway, because the chance of hearing your voice, even for 2 minutes, is worth the risk of being a bother. That is not neediness. That is love, at its most unguarded. The kind that has nothing left to prove and nothing left to ask for except your time. When you understand that, a daily call stops feeling like a demand. It starts feeling like what it actually is. Someone who loves you more than their own pride picking up the phone and hoping you will be glad they did. That realization alone can completely change how you answer. So, what do you actually do with all of this? You do not need to answer every call for an hour. You do not need to rearrange your life. But you do need to change how you show up inside those calls. Next time they call, put the other screen down. Do not type while you listen. Do not start mentally planning dinner while they are talking. Give them 5 minutes of your complete, undivided attention and watch how different that conversation feels. Ask them one real question. Not just how are you, but something specific. Something that tells them you were paying attention last time. Do you remember that thing you mentioned about your neighbor? How did that go? That is it. That one question tells them more than an hour of half-attentive conversation ever could. It tells them they are worth remembering. And that feeling of being remembered by your own child is something no gift, no money, and no gesture can replace. It is the thing they will think about long after the call ends, the thing that will make them smile quietly to themselves for the rest of the afternoon. And if you have been letting some of those calls go to voicemail, this is not about guilt. Guilt is not useful here, but awareness is. Because here is the quiet truth underneath all of this. There will come a day when the phone stops ringing, when there is no one left to call you just to hear your voice. And on that day, you will think back to every time you sighed at that name on your screen, every time you rushed the goodbye, every time you were physically present in the conversation but mentally somewhere else entirely. You will not remember what was so urgent. You will not remember what you were in the middle of, but you will remember that they called, and you will wish with every part of yourself that you had picked up differently. Your parent is not calling because they have nothing better to do. They are calling because you are the best thing in their world, and every single day they reach out is a day they are still here to reach. That is not an interruption. That is a gift, and it comes with an expiration date none of us can see. So, answer. Be there. Actually be there. Because one day that call will be the thing you would give anything to receive one more time.